A $5,000 bottle of wine, a $100 million deal, a whisper in a foreign language, sharp enough to cut glass. When billionaire CEO Marcus Blackwood mocked the waitress serving his table, he thought she was just part of the furniture. He thought his secrets were safe, shielded by his power and a language she couldn't possibly understand. He was wrong. In one night, a single sentence in fluent German didn't just shatter his arrogance, it exposed a lie that would bring his entire empire crashing to the ground. The air at Astria, New York's most exclusive restaurant, wasn't just air. It was a carefully curated atmosphere. It smelled of old money, white truffle, and a faint, floral hint of orchids that were replaced daily. For Anna Riley, it mostly smelled like pressure. At 26, Anna was a ghost in a tailored black uniform. She moved with an efficiency that made her invisible, a skill she had perfected over 2 years of balancing silver trays heavy with food she could never afford. Each night was a blur of pressed linens, hushed conversations, and the silent, demanding eyes of the city's elite. Table 7 needs water. Host is looking for you. VIP party in the Voltaire room. Do not be late, muttered Ben, her one friend on the floor, as he polished glasses at the service bar. Got it, Anna replied, her voice low. She shifted the weight of her tray, her lower back screaming in protest. Anna wasn't supposed to be here. She was supposed to be in Berlin, finishing her postgraduate degree in international relations. She was supposed to be using her fluent German, her mother's native tongue, to negotiate treaties, not to murmur, "Very good, sir," to men who didn't even look at her. But life had detonated. Her mother, Helena, had fallen ill. A fast, brutal, expensive illness that had devoured their savings and left Anna with a mountain of medical debt. So, Berlin was gone. Her future was gone. There was only Astria and the relentless, crushing weight of the bills waiting in her tiny walk-up apartment. She approached the Voltaire room, the restaurant's most private dining space. The heavy oak door was guarded by a stern-looking man in a suit. He nodded, and she pushed it open. The room was dominated by a long mahogany table. Seated at the head was a man whose face was plastered on the cover of Forbes and the Wall Street Journal every other month. Marcus Blackwood, the CEO of Blackwood Global. He was a man built of sharp angles and expensive tailoring. His presence sucked the warmth from the room. With him were 2 other people, a man and a woman in their late 50s, both impeccably dressed. They spoke with crisp, precise German accents. "Ah, the wine," Mr. Davies, the restaurant's fawning manager, said, rushing forward. "Anna, you will be decanting the 1998 Chateau Margaux. Perfectly, do you understand?" "Yes, Mr. Davies," Anna said, her voice a calm, professional mask. She recognized the other 2 guests from the briefing, Herr Wagner and Frau Müller, executives from Voss-Hagen Energy, a major German green tech conglomerate. This was clearly a deal-closing dinner. Millions, maybe billions, were hanging in the balance, right next to the crystal water glasses. Anna began the delicate ritual of decanting the wine, her hand steady, despite the exhaustion. The conversation flowed around her, a mix of polite English business speak and, increasingly, relaxed German. Marcus Blackwood, it turned out, spoke excellent German. He laughed, a short, sharp bark that held no humor. Anna focused on the deep red stream of wine, tuning them out. It was just noise. It was just a job. Until it wasn't. The dinner progressed. Courses came and went. Anna was a shadow, refilling glasses, clearing plates, her face a perfect mask of polite indifference. The conversation, now almost entirely in German, grew more animated. They were clearly celebrating. The deal was done. "A toast," Marcus said, raising his glass. He spoke in German, his voice slick with self-satisfaction. Auf eine erfolgreiche Partnerschaft. To a successful partnership. Herr Wagner, a stern man with wire-rimmed glasses, nodded. In der Tat, Herr Blackwood. Ihr Schmidt-Initiative ist der Schlüssel. Eine brillante Grundlage für das Hamburger Solarprojekt. Indeed, Mr. Blackwood, your Schmidt initiative is the key. A brilliant foundation for the Hamburg solar project. Anna's hand paused, just for a fraction of a second, over a water glass. Schmidt. It was her mother's name. Her mother's maiden name. A cold, sharp feeling, like swallowing ice, pierced through her exhaustion. It was a common name, she told herself. A coincidence. She forced her hand to move, to finish the pour. Marcus Blackwood laughed again. He leaned in conspiratorially toward Herr Wagner. His eyes flicked to Anna as she moved to clear his side plate. He didn't see a person. He saw a prop. Es ist gut, dass wir privat sprechen können, Marcus murmured, his voice dropping to a low, confidential tone. He was so close she could smell the expensive scotch on his breath. Man muss vorsichtig sein, diese amerikanischen Kellnerinnen. It's good we can speak privately. One must be careful. These American waitresses. Anna kept her eyes down, her expression placid. He wasn't done. He smiled, a cruel curl of his lip. Sehen Sie sich diese an. So einfach. Wahrscheinlich kann sie nicht einmal bis 3 zählen, geschweige denn eine Fremdsprache verstehen. Look at this one. So simple. She probably can't even count to 3, let alone understand a foreign language. Frau Müller gave a tight, polite smile, clearly uncomfortable. Herr Wagner frowned, focusing on his wine. Marcus, emboldened, pushed his luck. He was performing, showing off his power. Sie sind wie Möbel, die sich bewegen. Es ist egal, was wir vor einer solchen Kreatur sagen. Sie ist praktisch taub und stumm. They are like furniture that moves. It doesn't matter what we say in front of a creature like this. She is practically deaf and dumb. Kreatur. Creature. The word landed like a physical blow. It echoed in the stunned silence, vibrating with the memory of her mother. Helena Schmidt, a brilliant engineer who had taught Anna this language, who had taught her to be strong, to be smart. A woman who had been called a creature by a man who wasn't fit to polish her shoes. The blood in Anna's veins turned to ice. The professional mask didn't just crack, it vaporized. Time seemed to slow down. Anna was holding the heavy silver tray, piled with their finished plates. She didn't move. Mr. Davies, sensing a pause in the service from the doorway, began to pale. Marcus Blackwood looked up, annoyed. Well? Take the plates. Anna did not move. Slowly, deliberately, she turned her head. She looked directly into Marcus Blackwood's eyes. The air in the room became thick, heavy, and silent. She set the heavy tray down on a nearby credenza. The sound was quiet, but it echoed like a gunshot in the tense room. Then, in flawless, high German, her voice as clear and cold as a winter morning in Berlin, Anna spoke. "Entschuldigen Sie, Herr Blackwood," she said. Marcus's smile froze. His glass, halfway to his lips, stopped. Herr Wagner and Frau Müller snapped their heads up, their eyes wide with disbelief. Anna continued, her German precise, academic, and utterly devastating. Kreaturen wie diese verstehen oft mehr, als sie denken. Was das Zählen betrifft, so bin ich durchaus in der Lage, den Unterschied zwischen ihrem Anstand und ihrem Kontostand zu erkennen. Excuse me, Mr. Blackwood. Creatures like this often understand more than you think. And as for counting, I am perfectly capable of telling the difference between your decency and your bank balance. She took a small, steadying breath. Und beides scheint derzeit stark voneinander abzuweichen. and both seemed to be severely at odds right now. The silence that followed was absolute. Frau Müller's hand flew to her mouth. Herr Wagner's face, previously stern, was now a mask of pure, unadulterated shock. Marcus Blackwood's face was a horrifying spectacle. The blood drained from it, leaving a waxy, pale sheen. His eyes bulged, and a single vein throbbed violently in his temple. He looked, for a split second, like a fish gasping for air. "What?" he stammered, reverting to English. "What did you say?" Herr Wagner spoke first, his voice a low rumble. He spoke to Anna in German. "Mein Gott, Fräulein, wo haben Sie—" "My God, Miss, where did you—" "I studied at the Freie Universität in Berlin," Anna replied, still in German, her gaze locked on Marcus. "But I learned the language from my mother." Marcus finally found his voice. It was not the smooth baritone of a CEO. It was a high, strained screech. "You're fired! Get out! Get out of my sight! Davies! Get this thing out of here!" Mr. Davies rushed in, his face ashen. "Ms. Riley, apologize to Mr. Blackwood immediately. You're finished!" "Yes, I am," Anna said, her voice shaking slightly, the adrenaline starting to hit. She turned to leave. "Wait." The command came from Herr Wagner. He stood up, placing his napkin on the table. He looked at Marcus with utter contempt. Then he turned to Anna. "You said your mother," Wagner said, switching to accented but clear English for everyone to hear. "What is your mother's name?" Marcus saw where this was going. "Wagner, this is irrelevant. She is a disgruntled employee. I will have security. I am asking the young woman a question, Marcus," Wagner snapped. The friendly Herr Blackwood was gone. "What is your name, Fräulein?" Anna Riley. My mother." Anna's voice cracked, but she held it steady. "My mother was Helena Schmidt." The name Helena Schmidt hung in the air. For Marcus it was a bomb. For Herr Wagner it was a key. "The Schmidt Initiative," Frau Müller whispered, her sharp, analytical eyes darting from the file on the table to Anna's face. "What about it?" Anna demanded, her fear being rapidly replaced by a cold, burning rage. "You used her name." "What is the Schmidt Initiative?" Marcus slammed his fist on the table. "This is proprietary information. Security. I want her arrested for corporate espionage." "You will do no such thing," Herr Wagner said, his voice dropping to a dangerous level. He was a man who ran a $50 billion company. His power was quieter than Marcus's, but far deeper. He turned to Anna. "Ms. Riley, our partnership with Mr. Blackwood is contingent on a subsidiary his company acquired, a small German research firm named the Schmidt Initiative, which, he claims, holds the core patents for a new generation of solar energy." Anna's mind flashed back to her mother, not in a hospital bed, but in their small garage, years ago, hunched over a workbench, soldering wires, sketching diagrams in a worn leather journal. "My mother wasn't a solar engineer," Anna said, the words tumbling out. "She never worked on solar. She was a chemical engineer. Her research, her initiative, it was a prototype for a new kind of water filtration system, a way to remove microplastics using an ionic field." Frau Müller's eyes widened. She grabbed the prospectus from the table and flipped to the technical specifications. "Herr Wagner, look at this. The patent numbers. They describe a chemical filtration process, not a photovoltaic one." "It's a lie," Anna whispered, the full, horrifying picture coming into focus. "He didn't acquire her company. She had no company. It was just her research, her journals. He stole it. He stole her legacy and he twisted it." Marcus Blackwood was white-knuckling the table. He was trapped. He had insulted the one person in the world who could expose his entire fraud. "This is absurd," he yelled, lunging for the prospectus. Herr Wagner was faster. He snatched the document away. "Marcus, my legal team spent 6 months on due diligence. They vetted your SEC filings. They vetted the Schmidt Initiative as a viable, owned asset. Are you telling me you built a $100 million deal on a stolen patent for a different technology?" "She's a waitress!" Marcus screamed, his composure shattering completely. "A lying, pathetic little waitress. You're going to take her word over mine?" Anna stepped forward. "I have the journals, her original journals, in my apartment. Every diagram, every equation, in her own handwriting, with her name. Helena Schmidt." The game was over. Herr Wagner looked at Marcus, his face carved from ice. "Marcus, this dinner is over. Our deal is suspended. My lawyers will be in touch with you. And with the SEC. He then turned to Mr. Davies. "You will not fire this woman. In fact, you will pay her for the full evening." He reached into his pocket, pulled out a black business card, and handed it to Anna. "Ms. Riley, my car is downstairs. I will wait for you. We have much to discuss." Marcus Blackwood collapsed into his chair, a broken, gasping man. Anna looked at him, not with triumph, but with a sudden, profound exhaustion. She nodded to Herr Wagner, walked to the credenza, picked up the heavy silver tray, and, without a single look back, walked out of the room. Anna walked through the kitchen in a daze. The clatter of pans and the shouts of the chefs were a muted roar. Ben grabbed her arm as she passed. "Anna, what happened? Davies looks like he's seen a ghost, and Blackwood's security just stormed out. I think I just got fired and hired in the same minute," she murmured. She pushed through the service exit into the back alley. The city rain was cold, a sudden shock against her flushed face. A sleek black Mercedes S-Class was idling by the curb. The rear door opened. Herr Wagner sat inside, his face illuminated by the glow of his phone. "Get in, Miss Riley, please." Anna slid onto the plush leather seat. The car was silent, insulated from the world. It smelled like leather and power. "You are shaking," Wagner observed, his voice not unkind. "It's been a long night. I imagine." He tapped his phone. "I have my chief legal counsel on standby. What you said in that room, you must be 100% certain." "I am." Anna took a deep breath, the adrenaline giving way to a steely resolve. "My mother worked on her project for a decade. After she passed, I boxed everything up. I have it all. Her notes, her prototypes, her correspondence with the patent office. She was trying to get funding when she got sick. And Blackwood? I've never seen him before tonight. But my mother did have a research partner for a little while. A man named David Pearson. He disappeared right around the time she got her first stage patent approved. She always thought he'd just lost interest." "David Pearson," Wagner repeated, typing the name. "He has been the head of acquisitions at Blackwood Global for 5 years. Anna felt sick. He played her. He stole her work and sold it to his new boss." "Worse," Wagner said, his face grim. "He and Blackwood didn't just steal it. They falsified it. They took her legitimate, small-scale patent for water filtration and, with some clever legal and financial paperwork, packaged it as a revolutionary, large-scale solar technology. A technology that doesn't exist. Why? Anna asked. Why not just use her real invention? Because the market for revolutionary solar is 10 times bigger, Wagner said coldly. Blackwood Global's stock has been underperforming. They needed a miracle. They needed to show massive, unproven assets to inflate their value before a major merger. I now know they have planned for next quarter. My company, Voss Hagen, was to be their partner, their proof that the technology was viable. We were not his partners. We were his cover. He looked at her, his eyes sharp. He wasn't just lying to me, Ms. Riley. He was committing securities fraud on an international scale. The car pulled up to Anna's run-down apartment building. The contrast with the Mercedes was stark. My team will book you a suite at the Pierre. It is not safe for you to be here. Blackwood is a desperate man, and you have just become the single greatest threat to his existence. I'm not going to a hotel, Anna said, surprising herself with her own strength. I'm going to get the journals. And then, she looked at Wagner, I'm going to help you burn him to the ground. Wagner studied her for a long moment. Then, a small, grim smile touched his lips. He called you a creature. He has no idea what a dragon he has just awoken. The next 48 hours were a blur. Anna, escorted by 2 of Wagner's private security guards, retrieved the boxes from her apartment. They set up a war room in a secure suite at the Pierre Hotel. Lawyers, forensic accountants, and tech experts from Voss Hagen Energy flew in from Germany. And at the center of it all was Anna and her mother's life's work. The leather-bound journals were filled with Helena Schmidt's neat, angular handwriting. It was a language Anna understood on a cellular level, not just the German phrases, but the complex chemical equations, the engineering shorthand. Here, Anna said, pointing to a page from 2018. This is the core of her patent, the Schmidt field disruptor. It's an ion exchange process. It has nothing to do with photovoltaic cells. A German tech expert, Dr. Brandt, peered at the page. My God, he whispered, this is ingenious. But it is, as you say, 100% water-based. The energy draw is minimal. Now look at this, said Wagner's lead lawyer, sliding a copy of Blackwood's SEC filing across the table. The Schmidt Initiative prospectus. They've copied her diagrams but relabeled them. Ion exchange is called photon conversion. Water flow is energy matrix. He just painted it yellow and called it a sun, Anna said, horrified. He buried her real patent in a mountain of fraudulent paperwork, the lawyer explained. He used your mother's legitimate, registered patent as the seed for a shell corporation. He then pumped $50 million of Blackwood Global's money into that shell company, money he claimed was for R&D, and immediately funneled it to an offshore account in the Caymans. So the $100 million deal with you, Anna began, was the final step, Wagner finished, his voice like granite. He would take our real money, announce the partnership, his stock would soar, and he would complete his merger. After that, the Schmidt Initiative would be quietly dissolved, written off as a research failure. He would be hundreds of millions richer, and my company would be left holding a bag of lies, and your mother's legacy would be erased. The scale of it was staggering. It wasn't just an insult in a restaurant. It was a multi-year, international conspiracy. Then, the first counterattack came. A courier delivered a letter to the hotel. It was a cease and desist from Blackwood Global's legal team, addressed to Ms. Anna Riley. It accused her of defamation, theft of private property, the prospectus from the table, and threatened a $50 million lawsuit. He's trying to scare me, Anna said, her hands trembling. He is, Wagner said. He is confirming you are a threat. That night, as she tried to sleep, her phone rang. A blocked number. She picked it up. Anna! It was Marcus Blackwood. His voice was no longer screaming. It was a low, terrifying hiss. You have no idea who you're dealing with. You're a bug. I will crush you. I will destroy your life, what little there is of it. You'll be serving fries in a paper hat by the time I'm done with you. Walk away. Walk away now, and I'll even pay you. $100,000. More than you'd make in a decade. Anna thought of her mother. She thought of the word créature. My mother's work isn't for sale, Mr. Blackwood, she said. And neither am I. She hung up and blocked the number. The war was on. The suite at the Pierre Hotel had transformed. What was once a space of quiet luxury was now a pressurized war room. Whiteboards covered the ornate mirrors, scrawled with corporate structures, patent numbers, and timelines. Empty coffee cups and half-eaten room service trays littered every surface. Anna, Herr Wagner, his chief legal counsel, Ms. Haas, and a small elite team of forensic accountants and tech experts had been working for 36 hours straight. The atmosphere was thick with a mix of adrenaline and stale air. We have it. Ms. Haas, a sharp, pragmatic woman with a severe haircut and an even more severe intellect, announced. She tapped a finalized binder on the glass table. The full-scale fraud, the stolen patent, the shell corporation in Delaware, S Initiative Holdings, the bank transfers to the Cayman account. It's all here. It's an ironclad case for the SEC. A wave of relief washed over Anna. So it's done. We give this to them, and they arrest him. Wagner, who had been staring out the window at Central Park, turned. His face was grim. They will open an investigation, Anna. An investigation that will take 6 months, a year. Blackwood will bury your complaint in motions. He will claim corporate espionage, that you stole documents. He will bleed us dry in discovery. We have the truth, but he has the time. And right now, time is the one thing we do not have. He's right, Haas said, picking up her tablet. We just got this. Blackwood Global has moved up its annual shareholder meeting. It's not next month. It's in 6 days. Anna's blood ran cold. Why? It's not just a meeting, Haas explained, her voice clipped and fast. It's the merger vote. He's merging Blackwood Global with Ethelred Capital, a massive private equity firm. The merger was contingent on the viability of the Schmidt Initiative and the partnership with you, Herr Wagner. He's not running, Wagner said, a look of grudging respect on his face. He's accelerating. He knows we're a threat, so he's trying to win the race. Once the merger is complete, Blackwood Global ceases to exist. It's all absorbed by Ethelred. The Schmidt Initiative will be one tiny, buried asset in a $200 billion portfolio. Our evidence, our case. It all gets infinitely more complicated. He's trying to lock the door before we can get it open. He's cashing out. 6 days, Anna whispered, the weight of it crushing her. We have 6 days to stop a multi-billion-dollar merger. And he's not just running, the forensic accountant, a young man named Simon, said, looking up from his laptop. He's fighting back. You need to see this. He turned his screen around. It was a sleazy, high-traffic gossip site, the kind that always got anonymous tips from high-powered PR firms. The headline was sickening. Exclusive. Fired waitress in bizarre extortion. Plot against billionaire Marcus Blackwood. The article, quoting sources close to the CEO, painted a vile picture. It described Anna Riley as a disgruntled employee who had been acting erratically. It claimed she was fired for inappropriate behavior and suspected theft, and, in a fit of rage, had concocted a delusional fantasy about the CEO's business dealings. It ended with a chilling quote from an insider. She is a deeply unstable person. Mr. Blackwood pities her and hopes she gets the help she needs. He's poisoning the well, Anna said, her voice shaking with rage. He's painting me as a crazy, vindictive waitress. So when I do come forward, no one will believe me. It's a classic nuts and sluts defense, Haas said, her eyes cold. If you're a woman, you're either crazy or you're a scorned lover. It's designed to discredit you before you even open your mouth. The SEC will see this. The New York Times will see this. This makes our job harder. So what do we do? Anna demanded, pacing the room. We have the truth. The truth is not enough, Wagner said. We need a witness. We need the man who bridged the gap. The man who stole your mother's work and gave it to Blackwood. David Pearson, Anna said, the name tasting like ash. The man who drank my mother's coffee. Finding David Pearson was not easy. He wasn't at his Connecticut mansion. He wasn't at Blackwood Global. His phone was off. He's running, Wagner's head of security, a former Mossad agent named Ari, reported. He's terrified. Blackwood knows he's the weak link, and Pearson knows he's the scapegoat. He's gone to ground. He can't just disappear, Anna insisted. He's not a spy. He's a rich executive, Ori said, with a dismissive shrug. He's at his lake house in the Adirondacks, a 20-acre property, private road, very secure. He's cornered, Wagner said. A cornered man is dangerous, but he is also desperate. Ms. Haas, Anna, Ari. We are going to pay Mr. Pearson a visit. The next morning, after a 2-hour helicopter flight, they landed in a clearing half a mile from the property. They approached the sprawling, rustic, log and glass mansion on foot. Pearson was on his deck, staring at the lake, a glass of whiskey in his hand at 10 a.m. He saw them walking up the lawn, and he physically dropped his glass. It shattered on the flagstones. "Get off my property!" he shrieked, his face pale and blotchy. "I have security. I'm calling the police." "We are your security, Mr. Pearson," Ms. Haas said, stopping 10 feet from him. Ari stood impassively at the edge of the deck, blocking the door to the house. "You are in a great deal of trouble, and we are, at this moment, your only friends." I don't know what you're talking about. Let's not waste time, Haas said, her voice like a scalpel. SEC filing, 44B, the formation of S Initiative Holdings. Your signature is on the incorporation documents. Wire transfer 912A from Blackwood Global's R&D fund to S Initiative. Wire transfer 912B from S Initiative to Cayman account 881B, an account held by a shell company registered to Marcus Blackwood's personal lawyer. And our personal favorite, your signature on the asset acquisition of Dr. Helena Schmidt's patents, dated 2 weeks after her death. You're not just an accessory to fraud, Mr. Pearson. You're the architect. Pearson began to hyperventilate, backing against a pillar. "He made me. It was his idea. I just found the tech." "You didn't find it," Anna said, stepping forward. The raw emotion in her voice made both Wagner and Haas turn. "You stole it. You sat in her kitchen. You ate her strudel. You called her a genius and said you'd help her find investors. You watched her get sick, and the moment she was gone, you picked her pocket like a common thief." "Anna," Pearson whispered, his eyes wide with terror. "Anna Riley, my God, I didn't know you." "You didn't know I'd be serving your boss?" Anna shot back. "No, I suppose you didn't. You thought I was just some grieving daughter you could pat on the head while you stole her inheritance." "He'll ruin me," Pearson cried, tears of self-pity streaming down his face. "You don't understand him. He's not just a man. He's a black hole. He has files on everyone. Everyone. He knows things. I have a family, a wife, kids. And you are about to lose all of it," Wagner said, his voice a low, powerful rumble. He stepped into Pearson's line of sight. "You are going to prison for a very, very long time. Blackwood will see to it. He will offer you up to the SEC as the lone gunman, the rogue executive. He will walk away, and you will take the fall. Your wife will leave you. Your children will be ashamed of you. Your house, this house will be seized." He paused, letting the silence of the lake amplify his words. "Or," Wagner continued, "you accept my offer. Right now, we have a pre-written affidavit in this briefcase. You will sign it, detailing everything. You will become the star witness for the SEC and for Voss Hagen Energy. Our complaint will be filed with your testimony. You will plead guilty to a lesser charge, and in exchange for your full cooperation, our lawyers, who are far better than Blackwood's, will argue for probation, immunity on the major counts. You will lose your job, yes. You will pay a fine, but you will not go to jail, and you will be able to look your children in the eye." Pearson was shaking, a broken, terrified man. He looked from Anna's burning contempt to Wagner's cold, logical offer. He was trapped, and this was his only door. The affidavit," he stammered. "Let me see it." Ms. Haas placed a briefcase on the table and clicked it open. She handed him the document and a pen. He took it, his hand trembling so badly he could barely read. He uncapped the pen. He looked at Anna. "Helena. She was a good person. I never meant." "Just sign it," Anna said, her voice void of sympathy. He put the pen to the paper. His eyes darted to the private road leading to his house. A black SUV, identical to the ones Wagner's team used, was rolling slowly up the drive. It wasn't Wagner's. "No," Pearson whispered, his face turning an ashen grey. "Oh God, he's watching me. He's always watching." He threw the pen and the affidavit onto the table. I can't! He'll kill me. He'll kill my family. You don't know what he's capable of. He's not just a CEO. He's a monster." Before Ari could stop him, Pearson sprinted past him, into the house. They heard a deadbolt slam. "Mr. Pearson!" Haas yelled, banging on the glass. "Go away!" His muffled voice screamed from inside. "I don't know you. I've never seen you. Leave me alone." The black SUV reached the top of the drive, paused for a moment, and then slowly, deliberately, turned around and drove away. The message had been sent. Ari checked his phone. "That car is registered to a private security firm on Blackwood's permanent retainer." "He's terrorized him into silence," Wagner said, his face carved from stone. He looked at the unsigned affidavit. He was our clean kill. Now, we must get messy. They flew back to New York in grim silence. The clean, legal path, the one with a star witness, was gone. The smear campaign was in full swing, with 2 more online rags picking up the crazy Waitress story. They were back in the war room, and the clock was ticking. They had 4 days left. "It's over," Anna said, slumping onto a couch. She was utterly exhausted. "We failed. He's going to win. He's going to take my mother's legacy, bury it in his merger, and walk away with billions." "No," Wagner said. He was standing in front of the whiteboard, staring at the timeline. "We have not failed. We have simply run out of polite options." "What does that mean?" Anna asked. "It means," Wagner said, turning to her, "that if the law is too slow and the press is too biased, we do not go to them. We go to the one group of people who matter more to Marcus Blackwood than anyone. Who?" "His partners in crime," Ms. Haas said, a predatory smile touching her lips for the first time. "The shareholders, the investors he is actively robbing. The merger cannot happen without their vote." Anna sat up. "The shareholder meeting, the one in 4 days. You want to... what? Just walk in?" "Exactly," Wagner said. "He is expecting a lawsuit, an SEC complaint. He is prepared for that. He is not prepared for a public execution in front of his own investors." "He'll have security," Anna said, the old fear creeping back. They'll throw me out. They'll point to the articles and say I'm a crazy trespasser. They will throw Anna Riley, the waitress, out, Wagner said. He walked to his briefcase and pulled out a small embossed envelope. He handed it to her. Inside were 10 shareholder proxy passes for the Blackwood Global 2025 annual meeting. Voss Hagen Energy, Wagner explained, as part of our due diligence, acquired a minor, non-controlling stake in Blackwood Global, just under 1%. It's standard procedure. It gives us a right to be in that room. You will not be a waitress, Anna. You will be my official delegate. You will be part of my team. He cannot, by his own company's bylaws, remove you. A slow, fierce hope began to dawn on Anna's face. You want me to speak? Who else? Wagner said. You are the only one who can. You are the only one who can stand up and say, I am Helena Schmidt's daughter, and this man is a liar. We will prepare a presentation. Simple. Devastating. Your mother's journal versus his SEC filing. The bank transfers. We will give it to every financial journalist in that room at the exact moment you take the microphone. We will burn the entire room to the ground. The energy in the suite was electric again. The race was back on. For the next 72 hours they didn't sleep. Dr. Brandt, Wagner's tech expert, worked with Anna to create a simple, brutal PowerPoint. Side-by-side comparisons. Helena's neat German script next to Blackwood's forged technical labels. The red flowing lines of the Cayman Bank transfers. Anna rehearsed. She rehearsed her single question. She learned to control the shake in her voice. She learned to channel her rage not into tears, but into cold, hard clarity. The night before the meeting, Anna was alone in her suite. The team was in a final strategy session. She was looking at the simple, dark blue suit they had bought for her, a stark contrast to her black and white uniform. Her personal cell phone, the one she hadn't looked at in days, rang. It was a blocked number. A cold feeling of dread washed over her. She answered. Hello? Anna. The voice was not the high, strained screech from the restaurant. It was a low, smooth, terrifying hiss. Marcus Blackwood. I have to admire your persistence. You've been a busy little bee. Anna said nothing. Her knuckles were white on the phone. You went to see David, he continued. Poor, weak David. You scared him terribly. You're causing me a lot of trouble, Anna. A lot of paperwork. I don't like trouble. You don't know what trouble is, Anna said, her voice quiet. Blackwood laughed, a dry, humorless sound. Let's stop this game. It's beneath us. You're in over your head. You're a bug about to be stepped on. I'm going to offer you a way out, because I am, at heart, a generous man. $5 million. Tax-free. Wired to any account in the world. All you have to do is get on Herr Wagner's plane and go back to Germany. The stories go away. You live a very comfortable life. You forget all about Helena's little projects. My mother's work isn't for sale, Anna said, her voice shaking. The kindness vanished. The snake had shown its fangs. You fool! You stupid little fool! You think you're a hero? You're a line item. You're a nuisance. I've already started to erase you. The crazy stories were just the beginning. The next ones will be about your history of instability after your mother's death. I'll have doctors, experts, testify that you're delusional. I will use my money to have you declared legally incompetent. Your journals will be the sad ramblings of a grieving girl who lost her mind. You can't, she whispered, horrified. I can, and I will. And Anna, I'm not just talking about you. A new, colder dread filled her. What do you mean? Your friend, from the restaurant. Ben. Such a shame. He was just arrested. Apparently he's been skimming credit card numbers for months. It's amazing what security cameras pick up when a manager is told to look closely. He's facing 10 years for aggravated fraud. Anna collapsed onto the bed. No. Ben, he wouldn't. You did this. I can make it go away, Blackwood said, his voice sickeningly reasonable. A mistake in the accounting. Or I can have him transferred to Rikers. Your choice. $5 million, your friend is released, and you disappear. Or you continue this crusade, and I will burn you, your friend, and your mother's memory to ashes. You have until the meeting starts. 9 a.m. Choose wisely. The line clicked dead. Anna stared at the phone, gasping. He had her. He had found her one. True vulnerability. He wasn't just threatening her. He was holding her friend's life in his hands. She sat there, frozen for a full minute. Then she picked up the hotel phone and dialed Wagner's suite. He has Ben, she said, her voice a broken whisper. He arrested my friend Ben from the restaurant. He framed him. There was a muffled curse on the other end, then Wagner's voice, hard as iron. Ms. Haas, get a team. I want the best criminal lawyer in this city at central booking in the next 30 minutes. Bribe whoever you have to. I want him out. Now. He spoke to Anna again. Anna, this is the last, desperate act of a dying animal. He is trying to break you. Do not let him. He'll send him to prison. He will not, Wagner said. His evidence is as fraudulent as his company. It will not stand up. We will protect your friend. I give you my word. Now, you have one job. Go to sleep. Rest your voice, because tomorrow you are not just fighting for your mother. You are fighting for your friend. Tomorrow, you are fighting for everyone he has ever tried to crush. Anna hung up. She looked at the blue suit. The fear was still there, but it was now overlaid with something else. A white-hot, righteous fury. He called her a creature. He called her simple. He called her crazy. He threatened her friend. He thought he could buy her mother's soul. Tomorrow, she wasn't just going to expose a fraud. She was going to take everything from him. She was going to show him, and the entire world, what a simple waitress could do. The Grand Hyatt Ballroom was a sea of dark suits. Hundreds of shareholders, analysts, and journalists were present. On the stage, Marcus Blackwood was in his element. He was charming, powerful, and utterly in control. And so, he concluded, a slick graphic appearing on the giant screen behind him, the acquisition of the Schmidt Initiative and our subsequent partnership with Voss Hagen Energy marks the single greatest leap forward for this company. A new era of clean, limitless energy. The room applauded. Anna, seated in the third row between Herr Wagner and Miss Haas, felt her heart hammering against her ribs. And now, Blackwood smiled, I'll open the floor to a few questions. Hands went up. The first few were softballs from friendly analysts. Then, a microphone attendant reached Anna's row. Ms. Riley, Wagner murmured. It is time. Anna stood up. She walked to the aisle microphone. Her legs felt like water, but she locked her knees. She took the microphone. Her hand was perfectly steady. On stage, Marcus Blackwood was looking at a notepad. Our next question. Yes. In the aisle. He looked up. His smile vanished. It was the same face he'd made in the restaurant. The blood draining. The waxy, pale shock. He gripped the podium. You, he breathed. Mr. Blackwood, Anna said. Her voice, amplified by the speakers, was crystal clear. It did not tremble. You may not remember me. My name is Anna Riley. I served you the 1998 Chateau Margaux at Astria last week. A confused murmur rippled through the room. Shareholders looked around, annoyed at the interruption. Security, Blackwood yelled, pointing. "Remove this woman. She is a trespasser." "I am not," Anna said, holding up her pass. "I am a proxy for Herr Klaus Wagner, of Voss Hagen Energy. I have the floor." Wagner stood up. "She speaks for my company. Let her speak, Marcus, or will you have me removed as well?" The room went dead silent. The board members on stage looked at each other, panicking. Blackwood, trapped, had no choice. You have 1 minute." Anna looked at the AV booth at the back of the room. Dr. Brandt, with a pass as Wagner's technical advisor, was there. He hit the button. The giant screen behind Blackwood, showing his company's logo, suddenly switched. It was now a split screen. On the left, a page from Helena Schmidt's journal, showing diagrams for water filtration. On the right, a page from Blackwood's SEC filing, showing the exact same diagrams, relabeled as solar technology. Gasps erupted. Phones were raised, recording. "For the last year, Mr. Blackwood has told you he acquired a revolutionary solar company," Anna said, her voice ringing with authority. "This is a lie." "This is doctored slander," Blackwood shouted. "This," Anna said, "is the Schmidt Initiative. It was the life's work of Dr. Helena Schmidt, a brilliant chemical engineer. My mother." She advanced a step. "She invented a water filtration system. Mr. Blackwood and his associate, David Pearson, stole her research, packaged it as a non-existent solar technology, and created a shell corporation. He then funneled 50 million of your money," she said, looking around at the shareholders, "into that shell company, which was then wired to his private offshore accounts." The room was in chaos. "She's lying. This is a corporate attack by Voss Hagen," Marcus screamed. "Am I?" Anna's voice cut through the noise. She looked right at him. "Herr Blackwood, erinnern Sie sich an mich?" she asked in perfect German. "Do you remember me? You called me a creature. You called me simple. You thought I was deaf and dumb. But I heard everything." She switched back to English. "I heard you tell my German partners that you were glad I couldn't understand you. But I understood every word. And I understood this." She clicked the remote. The next slide appeared. Bank transfer records from the shell company to the offshore account. A signed affidavit from David Pearson, who, seeing the end, had finally flipped that morning. It was over. Marcus Blackwood stared at the screen, his face a mask of primal horror. He was utterly, completely, and publicly exposed. As security guards, this time joined by 2 uniformed NYPD officers who had been alerted by Wagner's team, began moving toward the stage, Anna concluded. "You didn't just commit fraud, Mr. Blackwood. You insulted the memory of a brilliant woman. You thought you were mocking a waitress. You were wrong. You were mocking her daughter." The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. Trading on Blackwood Global was halted by the SEC before the meeting even ended. Marcus Blackwood was arrested on stage, led out of the ballroom in handcuffs, his $5,000 suit crumpled. The story was global by midnight. "The waitress who knew too much," screamed one tabloid. "The bilingual takedown," wrote Forbes. "Blackwood Global implodes in CEO fraud scandal." Anna was, for a time, the most famous woman in New York, but she ignored the interview requests, the book deals, the TV movie offers. She had one more thing to do. 6 months later, Anna stood at a different podium, not in a hotel ballroom, but at a press conference at the United Nations. She was no longer wearing a waitress uniform, but a simple, professional dress. Behind her was a new logo. Not the Schmidt Initiative, but the Helena Schmidt Foundation. "My mother, Dr. Helena Schmidt, believed that clean water was a human right," Anna said, her voice steady. "Her work was stolen and corrupted, used as a tool for greed. Today we take it back." Beside her stood Herr Wagner. After Blackwood's company was dismantled, Voss Hagen Energy had legally and formally acquired the real patent from Anna. They had fully funded its development, not as a scam, but as a non-profit humanitarian project. The Helena Schmidt Foundation, Anna continued, in partnership with Voss Hagen, is proud to announce our first pilot program. We will be deploying 100 of her Schmidt Field disruptor units to drought-afflicted regions, providing clean, safe drinking water for over 50,000 people. In the front row, Ben, her old co-worker from Astria, sat beaming. He was now the Foundation's chief logistics manager. After the applause, a reporter raised her hand. "Ms. Riley, one last question. What do you have to say to Marcus Blackwood, who was sentenced last week to 25 years in federal prison?" Anna paused. She thought of the arrogance, the cruelty, the word créateur. She thought of the weight of the silver tray and the mountain of medical debt, now long since paid. "I have nothing left to say to Mr. Blackwood," she said. "I think, for the first time in his life, he finally understands the high cost of underestimating people. Spoken in the wrong language to the wrong person brought an empire of lies crashing down. It's a powerful reminder that intelligence, honor, and strength aren't defined by the price of your suit or the size of your bank account. Sometimes, the most powerful person in the room is the one you refuse to see." What did you think of Anna's incredible moment of justice? Have you ever witnessed someone being completely underestimated, only to see them turn the tables? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you loved this story of drama and karma, please hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to see it, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more unforgettable real-life stories every week. Thank you for listening.